So all of the intelligent women of The View, of course, nodded. Oh, yes, that's exactly true. That's exactly right what you're saying, Mark. New York Congresswoman Elise joins me now, chair of the House Republican Conference. She's the highest-ranking Republican woman in the House, and she has stood side by side over the course of many years with former President Trump. Congresswoman, good to have you with us today. It strikes me, they were talking about women's rights. It's interesting that Melania Trump, and we have a picture I want to put up here of all of the women in the very close in the Trump orbit. And you certainly have been one of them, too, as one of his top supporters. But Susie Wiles is the campaign chair. She runs the Trump campaign along with Chris LaCivita. Melania Trump, who recently spoke out and said that she was in favor of choice when it came to abortion. She separates herself from some of her husband's policies there. Ivanka Trump played a huge role in the first Trump administration. Kellyanne Conway, Kayleigh McEnany, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Laura Trump, Dina Powell, a former deputy national security advisor to Trump. Not exactly shrinking violets, any of these folks, Congresswoman.
Absolutely not. And Martha, it was not about an issue. Mark Cuban specifically said there are no strong and intelligent women who support Trump and that he doesn't surround himself with strong and intelligent women. I'm proud to be the highest ranking woman in the United States Congress. When I first ran, I was the youngest woman ever elected in history, the most senior woman on the Armed Services Committee and the Intelligence Committee. I'm proud to support President Trump and to be one of his closest allies. And that attack by Mark Cuban was an attack on tens of millions of hardworking women across this country. Moms, grandmothers, daughters, sisters, friends. You have women from the factory floor to the executive suites, veterans, Gold Star mothers, Gold Star wives who proudly support President Trump. It is a disgrace, and Democrats have an uncanny ability to say what they think, to show their disdain for the American people. And just 2 days ago, Joe Biden, the sitting president of the United States, called 250 million Americans garbage. And then we have Kamala Harris's top ally basically calling women who support President Trump weak and dumb, saying that you can't be strong and intelligent to support President Trump. That is the disgraceful closing argument that Democrats are making. The Trump campaign, their closing argument is he's going to secure the border, save the American dream, grow the economy, and bring back peace through strength. He will fix this broken mess that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have created.
What we're seeing in the early voting numbers is that women are outpacing men in the early voting numbers. Not all states say which party someone is with when they have voted early, but women do appear to be outpacing men. There is a gender gap that we see in the polls here, and it raises a question about whether or not all that could be done has been done by the Trump campaign. What do you say to that?
No, Martha. What I say is you have Kamala Harris's top ally calling women who support President Trump dumb and weak, saying that you can't be strong and intelligent if you support President Trump. That is just false. And many of those women, tens of millions of those women, will be voting for President Trump. And Martha, if you look at the early vote data that is coming out, Republicans are outpacing in every single swing state, every single swing congressional district, both in the Senate and presidential and the House races across the country. We are overperforming with both high-intensity and low-intensity voters, and increasing, you're seeing independents break President Trump's way, and those undecided women are breaking for President Trump because they're looking at the strongest economy in modern times for working women in his first term. They're looking at the most secure border, safety on our streets, and what do we see today? Catastrophic wide-open border, crime through the roof, and a weakened economy with inflation hitting women hard. So, you talk about the gender gap. Certainly, President Trump is winning men overwhelmingly. That smear from Mark Cuban and essentially Kamala Harris's campaign, it's disgraceful, and she has been silent on it.
I just want to put something up. This is Tommy Vitor, who is a former Obama advisor, reacting to apparently to what Cuban said. He says, Harris campaign surrogates, please stay on message, 4 exclamation points. No history lessons, no jokes. Let's run through the tape here, gang. Apparently, because of the timing, reacting a little bit to what Mark Cuban said. And we will see 59 million Americans have already voted in this election, and we will see where it goes. We're going to find out exactly how these numbers stack up in just a few days. Congresswoman Stefanik, thank you very much. Good to have you with us today.